Well, my name is Tony. You're watching Faith and Coffee Bean. Y'all, this is a live video, so thanks so much for hanging out with me. If you're a coffee geek like me, I'm going to ask you, hit that subscribe button. Like the video, comment, definitely interact. Y'all, I started this channel because I'm a big coffee geek. Years and years and years in my college years, I was a barista, and I got the coffee bug then, and y'all, I've had it for 20 years. So definitely appreciate it. In my day job, I'm an insurance guy, and I actually write insurance for a lot of business owners, and a lot of those, my favorites is when it's a cafe. This is my work at home office, y'all. So you are literally hanging with me while I'm taking a break from work. I like to do these live videos probably 3 or 4 times a week because honestly, it's like my work therapy. Everyone's got to have a little outlet, and making coffee is kind of a hobby slash thing I like to do. It's funny to think about having caffeine as a way to relax, but honestly, it does help me out. I love coffee. So y'all, one of the things I love to do is I like to find things on a good value. And this is a really cool roaster. I've got stuff from them before. This is BKG, and they're a roaster out of Brooklyn, New York. Y'all, back in the day, I used to live in New York City. I am a huge New York City fan, and I'm going to tell you right now, New York City has one of the best cafe scenes on the planet. I hope you know that. I'm sure you do. I've shared this a little bit before, but kind of tell you guys a little bit about me, and it kind of goes in the Faith and Coffee Bean thing. I'm gonna open this up while I'm chatting with you. Oh, cool! It has one of these pull ties, so I love it when they do this. So this is just super simple. I forgot that they did this. Oh, that's so awesome. So after 9/11 happened, that changed the world forever for us, and especially in the States. But that changed a lot. I was a young pastor in seminary, and I ended up making about 16 trips to New York City. I come from a background where, and I don't know if shared this a lot before. My dad was in prison. He did, I think, 8 to 9 years full-time prison. He was a rough gentleman, good man, reformed. That's kind of the point of the story. But he was a total, yeah. I won't get into it here. But yeah, he was a criminal. And he went to prison. And when he came out and changed man. And that changed my trajectory of my life. I grew up in Southern California. I grew up a little bit in the wrong part of the town, a little bit. And it changed me. It changed me as a person. So I ended up going to seminary, long story short, working in a cafe, became a pastor. And right when I was becoming a pastor, 9/11 happened. And I moved to New York City after visiting New York City 16 times, y'all. And when I moved to New York, I lived in Astoria, but all my friends lived in Brooklyn. And I would go to Brooklyn and have amazing coffee. And one of the cool things about living in New York City is I got to meet a lot of cafe owners, because those cafe owners would actually give us their day old, which was still really good, pastries and sandwiches, and they would donate it to the homeless. And especially after 9/11, there was a lot of people that were displaced. So I got to work with feeding people, and cafe owners, and it really made my love of coffee go through the roof, because I got to hang out in all these cool cafes and have their awesome pastries and have like Michelin star chef food, and get to really enjoy some cool stuff and give back to the community. I love Brooklyn. I love New York. This is a Brooklyn-based company, so that's kind of that story. Anybody who's from New York City knows that it's seriously some of the best coffee in the world is New York. And I love that. So they are a local roaster, but cool thing is, a lot of their stuff, you can actually get it, and I was able to get this, believe it or not, at Home Goods for $7.99. So they don't have a roast date; they have a use by date. But based on this, I'm going to tell you, I know that this is not the newest, but not the oldest. So I have had really great results from them, and I love finding things at a deal, and I'm not going to say no to good coffee at a deal. So that is where that is. So y'all, what I'm working with today is a Tuni E2. This is a brand new device. It's a 58 millimeter. I'm actually going to be using it on a bottomless portafilter, and this bottomless portafilter is really awesome. It's made. There's a company called Movana, and y'all, they're making some crazy cool cafe stuff. They have this really cool, like mechanically without batteries press that makes coffee. They're a company based out of, oh man, which country are they based out of? I know they're in Asia, but they just do amazing stuff. And y'all look at that. Looks like a pool cue. It's fancy, feels good in the hands, very well made. And the basket I'm using today is one of my favorite baskets on the planet. This is an IMS official basket from Italy. So this was made in Italy. It's a precision basket, and it's the convex 20-gram basket. So this is one of those Big Bang style baskets, but it doesn't have the Big Bang logo on it, but it is the same style. Matter of fact, they have it listed as a Big Bang, but does not have the logo. So I am very thankful. Very Barista sent this out to me a couple weeks ago. This has been one of my favorite daily drivers. We're gonna pull a big shot of espresso today, 22 grams, or actually, I'm at like 20 some grams right now, 21 or something. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna be using also my Hybrew G5 grinder. So this is a precision grinder. And y'all, I'm super excited. I just got this amazing, cool Knox box that was sent to me by ARC. Look at how awesome that is. This thing has been, I'm super excited to use it. It's the first time I'm going to be using it. It's all metal construction, and there's these really nice magnets that go on the bottom. So I really dig that. So definitely really cool. Big shout out to them for sending that to me. All links that you go to in the description of the video, go to my Amazon storefront. And just let you know, that does really help support the channel. My wife and I both have YouTube channels. And YouTube, I don't make really any money from YouTube. I do it because I love it. Purpose of me making this channel is I'm a big 40-something geek who loves coffee. And if you were a geek like me, literally, best thing you could ever do is subscribe. There's just no other way to say it. Your support is really why I do this. The whole point of having this channel, so I could hang out with y'all, do this live. If you ever have a question, I never claim to know all the answers, but I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to find out for you. And probably the thing is, if you have that question, I've had that question before, or someone else has. I really believe in, as a community, talking, join forums, go on Reddit, go on Instagram, talk to people, because that is the way that we get to know things better. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's grind this up. I just had these great Tanzanian single origin good as gold beans. These guys are awesome. And I did that one at about an 8, actually about a 9. Because this is a big boy, pull. This is going to be a 20-gram pull. I'm going to do the same for this because I was really happy with that. And I actually am going to put this in the tilt position. And let's get started. Yeah, New York is amazing. I love Brooklyn. I have a lot of friends in Williamsburg. It's funny to me because back in the day, that was kind of like the rough neighborhoods. Now it's like the trendy neighborhoods everyone wants to move to. Oh, man. It's funny how time changes. I grew up in Southern California, like I mentioned, and some of the areas I grew up in, kind of some of the rough spots, but now it's all posh. It cracks me up. Oh man, times are funny. In the comments below, let me know where you're watching from. Definitely let me know where you're watching from. I'm in Central Florida. I love it here in Florida. We are a goofy, funny state with a lot. We're always in the news. I'm going to be using a blind shaker today. So this is MHW3 blind shaker. And this is actually a 51 millimeter, so I'm going to use my dosing ring to kind of step it up. But yeah, it cracks me up. Here in Florida, we actually do have some really good coffee. Because so many tourists come for Disney, you have some really awesome cafes. And the parks, actually, these days, are starting to get better on coffee. That wasn't always the case. Have you ever come to Disney and went on vacation and then had some subpar coffee? I have. I've literally brought my espresso my AeroPress, into the Magic Kingdom and made my own coffee. I'm that type of geek. Now they have Starbucks and they have other things there. So, I mean, I can't hate on it, but, you know, at least they have that. Give us a little spanking. Reason why I do that is there's retention that sometimes gets up top. I'm also going to go ahead. Let me tell you a little bit about this tuning. So, if you're thinking about getting into espresso, so for years and years and years, I've shared the story before. I did not, even though in college I worked as a barista in a private little Christian cafe. I wanted an Italian espresso machine for years and years and years, and I kind of told myself, no, you don't do it until you can get something you really want. Honestly, that was bad advice to myself. A year ago, my wife was like, well, dude, what are you doing? You love coffee. Just go out and get a machine. And I ended up picking up a DeLonghi ECP. I have it here in my coffee corner for like $40 on Facebook Marketplace. And then I was just like, wow, this is so amazing. I didn't realize I could make such good espresso at home. And that's kind of the journey with this channel is I love to find things on the cheap. My goal is like, I want the best quality for the cheapest price. And I'm going to tell you right now, this unit, this Tuni E2, it goes for about $200. And links again on the description or for Amazon are in there because it's on Amazon. If you don't live in the States, definitely look it up. Tuni's a great company. They design in the U.S. and then they get a lot of their parts and stuff. It's actually produced I think in China, but a lot of their parts do come from like different style. Like there's a couple companies that use a design like this, but I'm gonna tell you, this is not like what you've seen before. There are two heating elements in here. So there's actually two heating blocks. That's like having a dual boiler where I could steam and I could do my espresso all at the same time. It's awesome. I mean, I'm just going to tell you that right now. It is crazy cool. I love that fact. And it is a 58 millimeter system. As I just dropped my portafilter. Gotta love a live video. You don't need a 51 millimeter. It's not like a requirement to make good coffee. Some folks might say, well, it's commercial size. You gotta have that. The truth is, I have made some of the best coffee in my life on my DeLonghi ECP. I have made some of the best coffee I've ever made on this Hybrew H10B. This is a great machine as well. 51 millimeter portafilter is going to be taller and it's going to make great pucks and it's going to be a really good experience. This is a 22 gram basket, 4-shot basket. Love this thing. That's for my DeLonghi. But there's a lot more tools that you can purchase and a lot more out there for 58. 58 tends to be this standard. The standard group head is your E61 group head, Italian group head, which is at 58. So that's kind of the main thing, and that's why I've been loving this Tuni. This Tuni has become like my new daily driver. Because of that, I could use a lot of my fun tools with it, and I just really have been enjoying it. So I'm going to tell you right now, I cannot recommend this thing more. I think it is awesome. If you're looking for, if like you want to do exactly what I was talking about, you've been kind of holding off. They use a Luca Italian pump. So the pumps are Italian. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, it's awesome. Definitely a cool buy. Okay, so let's go ahead, get to the coffee using the blind shaker. Okay. Smells so good. This is a medium to dark roast. I do believe this one is a blend. And I want to say it's South American. I'm going to take a quick look at it and tell you right now. Okay, do not fall. Do not fall. You ever speak to your portafilter? I do, because I'm crazy. I'm going to go ahead and use this really cool lightning tool. And this definitely has, it has notes of cherry, molasses, chocolate, very indicative of like a good dark roast. This is definitely more city roast. If you're familiar with a city roast, it's very similar to what's, really popular and done in the cafes of Seattle or New York, where it's dark, tends to be like their standard go-to coffee. That's the best way to put it. Very good for espresso, very good for pour over. I might make a quick pour over afterwards. Just giving it a smell. Oh man, it smells so good. My goodness. Love it. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to also be using my Normcore distributor. Just got that. And I've been loving this thing. Everything Normcore does is amazing. I don't think I've ever had a Normcore product I didn't like. Okay. And I did make a video with the MH Bomber and the Normcore kind of going head to head. This is my MH Bomber. I have it handy. I was going to show you guys, but I think, yeah, here it is. Uses a different type of technology. It's the weight. It's kind of like a counterweight system. Okay. Let's go ahead and just show you that, how pretty that looks. I'm going to go ahead and put puck screen up top, clean it up, and then we're going to do our 20 gram shot here. I'm going to shoot for like 45 or so, but I might go a little bit more. I'm going to go about 45. Okay. Got my cup. Let me get a better angle so y'all could see. I'm just loving this portafilter because it has a cutout and really just highlights when it comes out of the mirror. Just so awesome. Okay, let's angle this down so y'all could see it. Okay. Let's make the magic. I told my kid the other day, I said, it's time to make the donuts. And he looked at me, he's like, what's that from? Interesting. All right. So, I'm going to tell you, didn't get a lot of crema. It's not what I like to see, personally. There's just no other way to say it. Let me get this pulled off here. Let's taste it. I'm not one of those folks that's like, I've got to have a crema beast every time. And like I mentioned, this might be kind of a pour over situation. But I always love to start off with espresso because espresso is always my first love. There's just no other way to say it. For coffee, don't tell my wife I said that. But for coffee, espresso is always where I meet, what I like. I love a good spro over. I will sometimes, versus an AeroPress, I will literally make a giant spro over. Oh. Okay, let's give this a taste, and we'll test this too. Give it a little taste. Cheers. Taste is okay. It's good. I mean, it's not like, well, it could be better. So for this coffee, this might be a dial-in situation where I need to go finer. That's what that's telling me. With that lack of crema, or it could just be the beans are just not as fresh as they should be. In all fairness, I got it at a discount store at a discount price, and I could see the beans being a little bit old. That's the truth, and that's I'm gonna be cool enough to realize I wasn't buying it directly from them. Let's go ahead and try the TDS. Let's do the refractometer. Okay, just out of pure curiosity. 9.41. That's actually pretty good. Wow. I'm actually impressed with the rating, as goofy as that sounds. But yeah, that's interesting. I was expecting about an 8. It has a very smooth mouthfeel to it. That's the best way to put that. 9.41. Has a pretty smooth mouthfeel. Actually, a lot smoother than what I thought. And like I've got this particular brand. It made pour overs with it. So that's what I'm saying. It can be more pour over friendly. But because I like to be a little perfectionist on my coffee, it's like the only thing in life I really love to be a perfectionist on. We're going to do another pull. We're going to go way finer because this is also a 20-gram basket. And when you're dealing with a 20-gram basket, you sometimes got to, this is where dialing in is so important. So you'll also want to kind of show you this new knock box. I know I showed it to you before, but I'm going to try to get an angle where you all can see this just a tiny bit better here. So here is the knock box. This is by ARC. They're a cool company. They make a lot of kitchen gear. So definitely cool. So I'm going to go ahead. This is all metal, so you're going to hear a little cling. Nice. Clean. So little metal on metal action. I might put kind of a rubber stopper up there. Look at this puck. And I'm going to tell you this, to really figuring out your coffee, diagnose your pucks. This puck is soft. It's good. It came out clean, but I'm telling you, I need to go finer. That's what that's telling me. Read the puck. Definitely read the puck. I love this thing because it has a lot of storage. I could use it as a tamping station. Right now I'm kind of using it for storage. I love that it has a little side compartment here. And this is my 18-gram basket. I'm actually going to swap baskets. I'm going to swap. I love this 18-gram basket I got from MH Bomber. This is my go-to. So I'm actually going to dose it down a little bit. And that's what I love about the whole dial-in process. So let's go ahead. Let's put the 18-gram basket on. Okay. Oops. Sorry, guys. And then we'll go a little bit finer. Hey, Tristan, how you doing, buddy? Okay. Appreciate you stopping by. All right, so let's go a little bit finer and see how the difference is. Another really cool thing with this knockbox comes with a big giant brush, and I find especially with these, really helps just to put a brush to them and get stuff out. It's nice that they include it too. I dig that. I love when companies include extras. I'm all about the extras. Give me value. End of the day, I'm kind of cheap, but my cheapness helps me get the good stuff. Okay. All right, so let's go a little bit finer. I'm going to take this down to like a 7. That's pretty fine for this. Okay. We're going to go ahead and dose this at 18 grams. Okay. What is your preferred dose amount? Let me know in the comments below. What's your preferred dose amount? Is it 18? I mean, 18 tends to be the most popular. Or do you like to go big? Do you like to do like a big boy like I do, like 20 to 22 grams? There we go. That's 10. Go for a little bit more to get to 18. And I'm using a dye fluid smart scale. Thing's awesome. 18.32, 18.3, I should say. Right at 18 now. Cool. Okay, let's go ahead and do a little RDT action. Let's grind the beans. Love this grinder. Oops. Okay. You could actually do a slow feed on this pretty easy. Yeah, this Hyper G5, this thing's awesome. Really good value too. Seen them as low as like 150 Right now, with the discount, I think it's about 200, 220 on Amazon. Make sure I got everything. There we go. Nice and clear. Okay. And let's get our friend the blind shaker out. I mean, if I'm going to do the courtesy of the blind shaker on the last pool, got to keep in that same function, right? Okay. Yeah, and definitely appreciate y'all hanging out with me in this live video. Let's give this a little shake. Shake it like a martini, y'all. Okay. And yeah, I think that last pool, the reason why the TDS was a little bit higher was just because of the higher dosage. That's kind of what my thinking is. I mean, honestly, I was a little shocked that you even have it that high. Not unheard of, but just I was a little shocked. Okay. All right, y'all. Let's get some coffee in here. Nice and fluffy. Perfect. I hope that I didn't overfill this one, but we'll see. Okay. Using the same tool, WDD tool. This is the Lightning WDD tool. Give it some love. What's your favorite WDD tool? That's what I want to know. So many different options out there these days. Okay. Get the Normcore in there. Okay. Here we go. Look good, right? Okay. Let's just clean it up a tiny bit. Okay. Again, 18-gram pool. This is it's a different basket. This is the Precision MH Bomber basket. Again, appreciate you hanging with me on the live video. There we go. New cup. See how this works in comparison to the last one. Definitely can see it going slower because it's finer. It's almost choking a tiny bit. But I had to go finer. I was kind of a little shocked not to get that much crema. Now, like I said, the coffee was good. Yeah, this is pretty fine. I got a lot of overspray. I would say, again, dialing in, I went from a 9 to a 7. I could have probably went with an 8. Wow, that's overspray city. Channeling city right there. Not pretty. Y'all, I do these lives so you can do what I don't do. All my espresso nerds are like, goodness gracious, man. What are you thinking? Yeah, this is the longest shot ever. Yeah, oh my goodness. Hey, but I got some crema. Let's go ahead and just stop it right there. That's probably good. All right, let's take it off. It's about 42. Let me get something to clean up this mess. Goodness gracious. Hey, at least I got some crema. All right, so let's take a look at this. Very messy shot, not pretty. Definitely not one for my Instagram coffee model life. Instagram model of coffee. Sometimes I look at some of these Instagram coffee videos and I'm just like, yeah, that's a professional barista, like really killing it. It's funny to me. I am not a coffee snob because I cannot afford to be one. I aspire to that. Maybe one day I'll be a coffee Instagrammer. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Instagram, though. I always put gear on there, put my fun stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and test this out. So, TDS wise, wow, good lord, 12.44. Well, definitely was doing something better. Let's give it a taste. It has crema, so in theory, this should definitely taste way better. Let's have a little taste here. That was the longest shot ever. Yeah, way better. A little coming a little sour, but again, that was because of probably some over extraction. And with doing the refractometer and seeing that it's a higher amount, that doesn't surprise me. A little over extracted. That's par for the course. But is it bad and not tasty? No, it's actually pretty tasty. Interesting. I could do better. I know that. If I go in the middle, I could probably do better. I've got BKG before. I've been pretty happy with them. Like I said, for $7.99, getting this, I'm not going to complain about it. My son would love this. I'm going to tell you right now. My son does a lot of pour overs. He does a lot of like AeroPress. My teenager, he has his own espresso machine. More than likely, this is going to go between him and I, and he'll probably end up using the majority of it. I want to get some directly from them at some point because I'm very confident if these beans were a little bit fresher, the results would be night and day. There's no other way to say it, y'all. Hey guys, so I really appreciate you hanging out with me. My name's Tony. You're watching Faith and Coffee Bean. If you've never watched this before and you're a complete espresso coffee geek like me, definitely think about subscribing. You found your tribe. This is the right spot. I am not like I said, Instagram coffee dude. I am not the barista owning the cafe who's like Top Chef style. I'm the dad who's a dork chilling in my work at home office making coffee. So if you're a coffee enthusiast like me, hang out, say hello sometimes. That really does mean the world to me. If you have a question, let me know. I want to be your guy for that. There's something I could figure out. I don't know all the answers, but I will be more than happy to look them up. Like I said before, if you're asking, it's either a question I've asked or a question I'm going to ask. So I always appreciate that more than anything. Click on the Amazon links if you want to buy anything. It does support the channel, so I always appreciate that. I really appreciate hanging out with me. Y'all have a good one, okay? Beginning of the week, good things will happen.